We're live.
Yay!
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the season finale of the Black Minimalists live discussions. Adrienne and I have some exciting news to share with you today. We're also going to be answering some viewer questions and just letting you know what's going to happen. So, our exciting news is that our website is live.
Oh, yay!
Oh, hold on. I have the video playing in the background. Okay. So yeah, it's not the full website. It's our landing page. I wonder if I can screen share. Probably should have figured this out before we got on air.
Anyway. Cool.
Yeah, I don't want to get into
you got audience, you're gonna be surprised until you click the link to check it out.
Okay. And we will have it in the description box. But our website is blackminimalists.net.
Mm-hmm.
So if you go there now, you'll see our landing page. It'll say Black Minimalists, Connect, Reclaim, Live a Simpler Life, Share Your Story, and Reclaim Your Space. And you'll see a link to join the community. So if you have been following us on YouTube, Twitter, you enjoy the conversations that we have and you want to learn more, definitely go there and sign up today.
Mm-hmm. Yes, the exciting piece about this is that you will be kind of at the beginning stages in this journey with us, building the community, being able to share our stories, and we want you guys to be a part of it because, you know, the accountability and having the support of like-minded people traveling the same way that you're traveling on your minimalist journey, it's priceless. So definitely click that link that's going to be in the description box. Check out the landing page and make sure to put in your email and name, and welcome to the family.
I'm actually going to try the screen share. I mean, what the hell? Let's see.
Yeah.
How quick. Do I want to share my entire screen? Okay, just going to click it and go with it. Tell me what you see, Adrienne.
Whoa, it shows me now. It shows me and
desktop.
Minimize that. Yeah, there you go. Minimize that, and now go to it. Go to the
minimize
Black
the
Minimalist
Google Hangout screen.
You already did. Now click on the Black Minimalist tab, or type it in. There it is. Oh, there it is. Yeah, I totally see it.
Success. Okay, so this is the landing page, everyone. Website. Let us know what you think. Adrienne and I are going to talk a little bit about you're going to be, what this community is going to consist of.
Mm-hmm.
The first one, live a simpler life. So obviously we're talking about minimalism.
Mm-hmm.
Really, we're talking about minimalism from the Black perspective. So we're going to be giving you information on how to transition to a simpler life, all the many different ways that you can simplify, minimize, bring more freedom into your life, do what you want, have the experiences, get rid of the junk. That's all a part of that, living a simpler life.
Mm-hmm.
You want to share your story?
Yeah. So share your story. Same thing. It's, again, connecting with people that are on the same journey with you. We'll have things like contributors where you can kind of share your story up until this point. Maybe some of the struggles, some of the wins, some of the new insights that you've realized as you travel on this journey. And, you know, people will be able to kind of relate to that, and you'll also be able to relate to others that are doing the same thing. So it's going to be great for that.
Yeah, so this is an opportunity if you are a content creator who focuses on some aspect of minimalism. It doesn't have to be like strictly under the title of minimalism. If you do zero waste or eco-friendliness or whatever your niche is within minimalism, if you're a content creator, this is your opportunity to have your work on our site. Also, for our readers who aren't necessarily bloggers and content creators, we haven't worked this out yet, but maybe we can do like some type of forum, Adrienne, where people can come in and ask questions, and like whoever's in the forum can respond.
Yes. Yeah, I think that having some way where there's, networking opportunity and you could ask questions, kind of like how you've been doing on this Google chat, but right there in Black Minimalists, that, yeah, we definitely would look into something like that.
And we definitely want to have like a conference, whether it's virtual, maybe an in-person conference and like meetups and that type of stuff as well. So that'll be other opportunities for you to connect. The final one is reclaim your space. We're both going to tackle this one. This one is very important to us as Black people, and it really goes back to the first question that we posed in our first live chat that we didn't answer completely, which was what is the difference between just regular minimalism and Black minimalism? Like, why are we calling ourselves Black minimalists? So one component of that is representation. The reason why, I started the Black Minimalist interviews and doing the series on, minimalism for Black liberation is because following many of the popular minimalist content creators, the vloggers and bloggers, and even just, joining different minimalist like Facebook groups and other forums, I noticed that there was a lack of Black voices, both creating the content and also like in the comments. So one of the things that I wanted to achieve was to get the perspective of Black people pursuing this lifestyle. How is it different for us? How is our cultural experience playing into our minimalist experience, and if in fact, there is a difference.
Yeah. And for me, when I hear the word reclaim, especially in the phrase reclaim your space, and I think about just the Black experience, part of our history, especially in America, but probably around the world, is trying to find ownership, in your community, in your environment, not have in your own body, in your own being able to claim that and not have other people define what that is for you. And so I think that definitely is a different experience that is for the Black minimalists than others. So
yeah, definitely saying the history of being Black in America is fraught with so many instances where our identity, our humanity has been denied to us, even our culture. I mean, just think about just mentioning the words cultural appropriation. I'm sure you can think of a million examples of how, they've tried to deny us who we are, essentially. Our space, reclaiming your space is about taking back what's ours, making it unique, and also giving you something to own that
definitely.
So that's what that's about. In the coming, okay, so let me stop sharing for a minute. Go ahead and click on the link, join the community, fill in your name, come join our family. We will come back to this at the end of the chat. I'm gonna stop sharing.
There you are.
And come back and see Adrienne's beautiful face. So yeah, the reason why this is our season finale is, one, I'm going to be leaving for a month. Philippines for a month.
Yes, girl. Yes.
Yes, I can't wait. Oh, this rain here we're having too. I'm like,
Yeah.
no, this is not right. So I'm gonna be leaving for a month. But also over the summer, we Adrienne and our other will be working on preparing for our launch of Black Minimalists. So we are hoping to launch by September.
Mm-hmm.
So over the summer, we'll be working on that, getting our content plan in place and all that stuff you have to do to launch.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why this is our season finale. There won't be much content coming up on the channel. I do have a vlog I want to get up from the little hangout that we did in DC with Pasavia and India and her husband Tim. So I want to get that up. I know you're meeting up with you're still meeting up with Pasavia, right? And
yeah. I know she's coming up like I think next week or something like that. This next upcoming week. So
maybe you guys can do a little vlogging or something up there. Show us. She can do a tour of the tiny house she's staying in.
Yeah. Well, that'd be cool. Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe if you guys can get that content, just a little video. It doesn't have to be a lot. Just something that I can whip up into a few minutes. Long vlog and just put it up on our channel so we have stuff.
Cool.
But yeah, it's gonna be quiet for a while.
But the thing that I can definitely commit to, and Yolanda will too as well, is keeping in touch in the comments on Twitter, on social media. So keep your questions coming along. Great thing. Put down in the comments below what you would like to see on the website. What kind of content do you want to know more about? Because we really are trying to design this as a community experience that is valuable for everyone that joins the family. So leave more comments below about what kind of information on minimalism content that you would like to see.
Yep, do that. Again, make sure you sign up to get on our email list so that we can keep in touch with you. And also Twitter. Twitter is the next best place to come because on Twitter more often. So you can also come and chat with me there, leave questions. I try to retweet a lot of posts and things related to minimalism and simplifying your life. And also we will be having our final Twitter chat on June 2nd about minimalist eating. All right, let's get into these questions that a viewer left for us.
All right, I'm excited.
Okay, so Kinky Coco, I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. Let us know if you're watching in the comments if I'm pronouncing it correctly. So she left a ton of questions. The first one. It says, minimalist experience impacted their spiritual growth and or religion? I'll let you.
Did she watch the one where I said, Jesus was a minimalist? So you got to get my perspective on it. But yeah, well, I like to hear yours first. What's your perspective on that?
Well, I don't follow any religion, first of all. I believe in a higher power. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. I guess I'm pretty agnostic, actually. I believe that we have something divine within all of us, whether that is another entity or something else named God. I don't know. But for me, minimalism has definitely impacted my spirituality. Sorry. And just that it's helped me let go of things that I've held on to from the past
Mm-hmm.
that was impacting my ability just to be who I am and be comfortable with that and be authentic.
Mm-hmm.
So it's definitely helped in that respect. Minimalism has impacted my spirituality because it helps me appreciate the beauty that is life and just relishing and reveling in the simple things, like hearing the birds chirping outside of my window while I'm sitting in my room at my desk. You know, just taking appreciation of those things.
Yeah.
And it's also helped me just to be more bolder, adventurous, I guess. Just to live life now and go for what you want now.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of waiting for something else to happen before you can do this or before you can do that.
Yeah.
That's how it's impacted me spiritually.
Yeah. So, I mean, when I think spiritually, I think I've just reconnected a lot more with nature. Like I specifically get cravings to step out into nature, take a walk, go into like the middle. In Oregon, there's a lot of like parks that have big trees. So once you actually go into the park, it almost feels like you're in like the forest, like deep in there. And I like going there by myself and just literally sitting amongst the trees, you know, and just kind of experiencing that quietness, that you know, stillness. I love that, you know. And so minimalism has kind of made me realize how important that is, that the go of life about, you know, like you can have drive, right? You can have ambition, but if you don't balance it with that stillness or those moments where you just sit, kind of be amongst nature, then your life can get out of whack. And like I said, but yeah, back to the Jesus is a minimalist. I feel like for me, starting minimalism and also trying to read through the Bible and also develop my spiritual, my walk with Jesus. I'm starting to see parallels, and so seeing those parallels helps me to connect with the word as actual something more living than just words on a page. So to see him, just hear his story of being so focused on what he's supposed to be doing in the world, and then just making sure all the other aspects of his life point to that same thing, and just kind of what he's supposed to do. That's minimalism. That's what it's all about. It's getting rid of all the excess things that are pulling you away from what matters most. And then once you've gotten rid of those things, venturing out and go experience what matters most. So I've definitely seen a lot of impact, just helping me to really feel on a visceral level, spiritually, religiously, how important that is. Yeah, minimalism has done that for me. So
that's awesome, and I love to see have a discussion on that, more about Jesus was a minimalist and what y'all think of that.
Man, I know. I feel like he'd be able to break it down probably even a lot more than me, because I'm more of the beginning part of it. That would be really cool.
So yeah, I'd love to hear him talk more about that. It's an interesting discussion, and I do believe Jesus was a minimalist, but can't tell some of those prosperity gospel preachers that don't talk for a low dollar that.
Why was I literally was thinking of him in my head when you said that. I was like, oh yeah, dollar don't know about that.
Just tweeting that we're live because I forgot to do it. We started. All right. Next question. And also, wait, one more thing I want to say about that.
Mm-hmm.
Don't you think like activity is connected to your spirituality as well? And I feel like since I've embraced minimalism, I've become a lot more creative, able to express myself, in different ways. And
yeah, well, I mean, like I said with my story, that before I realized I was doing minimalism, I embraced creativity in random ways. And it was just it was like a natural body reaction, like, oh, I gotta kind of get back. Somehow I just started saying, let me experience creativity. Like I was making paper rings and doing like a whole craft and DIY. And then one day I was doing like crochet. Like I was just like trying to explore my creative whatever. And then after that came, minimalism. Realizing that. Now, so they're definitely connected.
Because I feel like when you're creating something, your mind, your soul, or something, you go to a different place within yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know, watching TV or something. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
it requires something of yourself that you don't always access 24/7.
That's interesting because, like, with minimalism, because you're clearing away a lot of the excess, you're able to kind of zone in on that piece that I think you're talking about. I don't know the right words to call it, but it's like that. It's almost like active meditation.
Mm-hmm,
and creativity does the same kind of thing. When you're really into something creatively, you can get into this like active meditation state where it's just like it's flowing. That kind of you like resonate with whatever, it's a strong feeling that comes up.
You got it. You definitely got it. All right. Next question. How has minimalism affected your relationships with your partners?
I ain't got no man, no. No, but that's not because of minimalism. Let me say that. It's not because of minimalism. No. I'm not trying to say if you become a minimalist, you ain't going to get no man. Like, let me put that out.
You may not know it's not because of minimalism, but minimalism, you may decide that the relationship that you're currently in is not working for you. You may need to get rid of it and be by yourself for a little while to figure out what you really want.
That will happen. So I think what minimalism does again is because and I'll probably be sounding like a broken record, because you're letting go of excess. Because the fact is, excess keeps your mind and everything not focused on what's most important. It just keeps you kind of in this numb state, right? And so when you start to practice minimalism and you get rid of excess, and not only just in your physical space, like in reality, but almost mentally too, the mental clutter of things, then when you start to interact with certain people in that dynamic, and you start seeing, okay, wait, I'm going in this direction, and you start to see, wait a minute, are you pulling me back, or are you helping me to go up? Like, are you elevating me, or are you pulling me back? And it's not just about, oh, you think I'm cute,
Mm-hmm.
Which I feel like a lot of my dating experience, especially in the 20s, has just more been like, oh, you think I'm cute and I think you're cute. Why don't we just like see what's
up? I like you because you like me.
Exactly.
Not that we have some type of genuine connection.
Exactly. And now with, minimalism, and I think also too in the 30s, getting older, all those things are coming together. I started to be like, yeah, you cute. And it's not even about like what kind of car you have. It's more like, are you in a mindset of trying to build legacy, right? Are you trying to build a body of work where you can look back and be like, wow, I impacted my community in this way?
Mm-hmm.
Like, those are the kind of things that you start to kind of think about as a minimalist, is how can you be more impactful in the world?
Right.
And then you want your partner to have the same kind of mindset. At least that's for me. Is it the same way for you?
Yeah. I mean, I'm also single, by the way. Ironically enough, my minimalism journey, the relationship that I was in, came to an end. So anyway, we're not gonna go there. But yeah, it's definitely about a mindset. And it's like, are you happy with your life?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And if you're not, are you actively trying to do more things that will make you happy? Are you striving for what you really want? Or like, are you just on the hamster wheel?
Yeah.
Running the rat race.
Yeah.
Because in your 30s, that's a time when people start thinking about settling down.
See, that's the interesting thing, because I'm not necessarily trying to settle down.
I'm trying to
uproot. But I don't uproot. Like, I'm not trying to necessarily settle down, get kids. That's great if that's where you are. But I definitely, in the same vein, would be interested and open to an adventure partner, someone that's willing to go experience the world with me.
Exactly. So, like, it's really, and we never got to this discussion where we were planning to talk about, the midlife crisis. I mean, the quarter life crisis and being in your 30s. But we might as well just go ahead and dip into it a little bit right now. But it's really, I don't know, interesting, surprising. I don't know the word for it, but minimalists in their 30s versus non-minimalists in their 30s, it's really a dichotomy. Like, we're really on two separate ends of the spectrum, I feel like. And this is just from my personal experience and from minimalists who are also in their 30s. Like you said, we're not trying to settle down into this routine of family. I got the job that I wanted now. Let's go buy a house. Let's have 2 kids and a dog and go on 1 vacation or 2 vacations per year, and that's it. That's your life until you retire. Like, we're not interested in that. We're interested in the exact opposite, which is, let's go build something, explore something. Let's see what we can get into.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
I think unless you're already in the family dynamic, like with Calvin, he has the family, has the kids, and he's a minimalist. So I think people that are already in that family dynamic, they can definitely experience minimalism and kind of get the benefits of it as well. But I can only speak for being like single with no kids. Allowed me to be okay with saying just that like, I don't necessarily I don't have to be, because I've turned 30 and now I'm 33. When am I gonna get my ring? Where am I at? When am I gonna get my wedding?
Right.
I saw, when can I be a bridezilla? Like that, like, it's not. But at the same time, I'm like, isn't to have somebody to be your road dog and just experience life with. We go and see the world and explore and create together. So there is that, but it doesn't look exactly the same,
Right. And I would say with that, the person that I will be with will have to be a minimalist.
Yeah.
There's just no compromise. There's no compromise there.
Yeah.
So,
I don't know if he'll be, for me, I don't know if he'll necessarily say, oh yeah, I'm a minimalism, but he'll probably have the, like what we're noticing is that there's a lot of people that are doing minimalism but don't necessarily call themselves a minimalist, And so I think the person that
I'll let him know.
You'll let him know. Just to let you know.
Right. But you know what I'm saying? Like, you have to be in that same mindset of, experiences, growth, spirituality, creativity over stuff. Like, there's no way a hoarder and a minimalist can share a life together, because you're always going to come to a head about stuff.
Yeah.
So
because you could say the same thing. A lot of people say the same things about like finances and things like that. But now it sounds like you're putting it on the same level. Like the things
definitely.
that people said about minimalism too. It's like, dude, what's up?
And, getting your finances in order is a big part of the minimalist journey. Like, how many people do we know who are vlogging and blogging about their debt-free journey?
Yeah.
I mean, so that's a component too. Like, you got to get your coins together. We got to help each other get our coins together.
So right there, I think is an interesting thing, and I hope we explore that more with the Black minimalism, because a lot of things you hear, especially from Black women, is, and I'm not trying to generalize, and I'm just saying like what I've heard is, oh, he got to have a nice car, got to have a nice house, da 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 da. That's not the same thing as being like, wow, he knows how to manage his money. Like, you can still have, a good basic job, right?
Yep.
Taking care of your day to day and know how to manage your money. But are you going to say, nah, because you don't look like what I see on TV with the chains and da-da-da-da. You don't have the money flowing. So it's asking that question, like, because I'm more and more, I see myself being like, if you know how to manage your money, you know how to build wealth, but you don't necessarily have to be like, but you know these things that are important to know. I choose that over any day of somebody trying to be extra flashy, like any day.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't have to make a lot of money to be wealthy.
There you go. That's it.
To be successful, because that's what it boils down to.
Yeah.
We think we have to accumulate these things as goals of our success. But that's not what's popping.
No, because if we're able to get some travel miles because you manage your credit right, and we can still take that trip as opposed to you having to pull out the money to pay for it directly. Boo boo, let's go. I'm with you. Let's rock. I'm more about you being strategic and being able to be conscious and aware and make smart moves, as opposed to being like, yeah, I did whatever I had to do to get this money right. It's like, no, it's not really about that. So
yeah, we got a little off tangent, but basically, to answer your question,
I was speaking from my heart. Yeah,
we were. But just to bring it back, we don't have partners. No, we don't have partners. But when we do, find the person that's right for us, they do have to have the same mindset.
Definitely.
But we could have talked about it, maybe not from a partner standpoint, but a family standpoint. We've talked about this in other videos.
And hopefully we do a video later down the line, or some way do a post with someone that has a family, and what that, what that looks like.
What that looks like. Because she and we live in a similar situation. Like, she lives with her family. I live with my mom. They're not necessarily minimalists. They're not minimalists. Let's just keep it real. So we know that struggle, but we, on the other hand, we got to do what we got to do to be able to live our lives minimally. So that's what we're gonna say on that.
Yeah.
And
all right.
I think we already answered this one. Are you typically attracted to or specifically seek out those who live the life of a minimalist as well? We kind of answered that. Yeah, we kind of answered this in regards to our partners, but just from, I just want to say this from the Black minimalist business standpoint. Yes, I am always Googling, on YouTube, Twitter, whatever platform I'm on. I'm always searching for other Black minimalists. So if you are a Black minimalist and we don't know about you, hit us up in the comments or something.
I couldn't hear all the question again. Could you read the question one more time?
Yeah. It says, are you typically attracted to or specifically seek out those who live the life of a minimalist as well?
I wouldn't say I intentionally go, like I wouldn't write it on like a dating profile, must be a minimalist, you know? But I mean, I think once I meet someone, I definitely have that conscious in my head, like, okay, these specific aspects is minimalism showing up, you know?
Yeah.
So it's an evaluator, but it's not the initial, like, I'm targeting specifically that, you know?
I don't feel like I have to target people because I feel like minimalism gives you a lens.
Mm-hmm. Good visual. I like that one.
You know, where, you know, after meeting people and like talking to them for a while, you can tell if they're on the same wavelength.
Yeah.
You don't have to say I'm a minimalist or are you a minimalist to figure out if they are or not.
Mm-hmm.
But I did want to add another thing to that, just about friends. Something that I sort of struggle with, and another reason why, you know, I wanted to exist is because many of my friends aren't.
Do you see that as important to have like minimalist friends? Is that like kind of like with dating? Is it something that kind of would make you lean to the left on if they didn't really kind of lean up and follow that same practice?
No, I can't really say that because like we're not friends because of minimalism. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
We have a history together. You know, we have other things that tie us together.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I guess you do. I don't know what I'm saying here. It does matter to a certain extent.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Or you do notice it.
Yeah.
Sometimes they want to do things that you don't necessarily want to do.
Yeah.
Or things that aren't, you know, in line with your values.
Mm-hmm.
So like, you know, I'm not that person. I'm not that friend who's going to go shopping with you.
There you go. Yeah, no, no, that's very interesting because that's a common bonding experience with women, right?
Especially women.
Yeah.
Especially women.
That's interesting that you said that. I never thought of it that way. Okay.
And also just in general, like trying to plan something together. Mm-hmm. Like you always have, we're the top.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm like, how can we do this as cheaply as possible?
And they see it as, oh, you cheap, ain't you?
So, I mean, it's just little things like that. But no, you know, my friends are still always going to be my friends. We're just going to, you know, there's just going to be some points where we diverge. Mm-hmm. And that's okay.
Yeah.
But, you know, I would like to have,
mm-hmm.
you know, friends who are minimalists.
Yeah. They kind of get it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Same way. I don't have any like friends that claim they're minimalists. But I notice as I have conversations with them, just in general, like my best friend since I've known since 5th grade, she's kind of been starting to think about getting a tiny house, and that's something that I sparked in her. She's always asking me, hey, do you want to help me kind of declutter my closet? I have like clothes that I haven't been wearing in so long. And so those are kind of, she knows me for that. And I can sense that like that's stuff that she wants to like move to, but she's not officially being like actively practicing it. Mm-hmm. So I find it like a way of kind of educating people, and that's kind of bringing me closer to friends. But mm-hmm. I haven't experienced it. Like I think I would still like go shopping with a friend, but I would be looking at my clock being like, okay, I'm ready to go. Yeah, I gave you 20 minutes.
Right.
You know, so.
Yeah. All right. Next question. Kind of already talked about this. How do you deal with resistance or negative responses from friends and family members to your lifestyle? We talked about this in
I think
another
we asked that. Yeah, we talked
video.
about that.
Yeah. And
what video was that? Maybe like, I think that's the first one we did with Pastavia and yeah.
Oh wait. Yeah, we talked about it a couple of times. I think we talked about it in the very first video when we talked about growing up Black in America.
Mm-hmm. So check the playlist, y'all, for that one.
Yeah. And then another one was, have you lost friends or family members to your lifestyle? No.
Nah.
Nope.
No.
We're still here. It's not that serious. It's not that serious where I'm just gonna be like, I can't deal with you anymore. Deuces. No. I mean, I think that's when you get into like extreme minimalism, I feel like, where you just like people out of your life. Unless they're toxic people. Like that's
there you go.
But if they're just not, just because they're not minimalists doesn't mean you can't be cool with them.
And I mean, I think that's also going to be a benefit with the Black Minimalist .net the community we're creating, is that you'll see different levels of minimalism in that community, because I'm not trying to be an extreme minimalist. Like, that's not my thing. My only intent is to make sure that I stay focused on what matters most. So if something feels out of whack, then that just is something for me to take a look at and maybe explore letting go. But I'm not being like, I only have one item in my backpack and I don't sleep on a bed. Like, it's not like that for me. But if it is for other people, that's great.
I'm laughing because I don't have a bed. I just have like a mattress, like a futon mattress.
Yeah.
So that just made me crack up.
And that's cool. Like, whatever setup you have for you, that's great. But it's, I don't think the intention for every minimalist, at least I don't think it's healthy. I think it's, if you go extreme either way, right? Too much consuming minimalism, it's not healthy either way. It's the balance. That's what you're trying to find. So
yeah. So that kind of leads us into another question. And I feel like, I don't know if we talked about this or not previously, but we can take a stab at it. It says, why is it that some of our people, Black people, I'm assuming, equate minimalism to homelessness or not a lifestyle suitable for them without gathering knowledge first?
I don't, do we talk that? It has some layers. What's her name again? She is loud with the questions.
She just came with, these are all her questions. One comment.
She said, take this. Like, right. Whoa.
You want some topics? Here are some topics.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like that would be itself its own thing that will be a continuing question. I mean, because I work in social justice, and I even have a video on my YouTube channel that says homelessness, extreme minimalism, like asking the question, but let's say the question one more time so I have it in my head. That's a deep one. That is a deep one.
It says, why is it that some of our people equate minimalism to homelessness or not a lifestyle suitable for them without gathering knowledge first?
Without gathering knowledge first. We'll take that.
We kind of did touch on this a little bit in our first video. We talked about growing up Black and being Black in America and the legacy of slavery. Mm-hmm. When you come from being someone else's property, not being able to own anything, as soon as we got free, and I put in quotation marks around that, because we still ain't free really, but as soon as we got more freedom, and with the Civil Rights Act and all those things, I feel like for many Black people, it's like, finally, I can get all the things that white people have. Like, here's my chance.
Yes. Yeah.
So I think some of them think in their mind, well, we just got this stuff. I'm not ready to give it up yet. Why would I go back to living a life similar to a slave in a little shack, tiny shack with little personal belongings? whatever they envision, slaves live like or whatever. And she used the word particularly homelessness, but, why? I know most people logically think in their minds, why would I go back? Why would I do that to myself?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But minimalism isn't homelessness.
Mm-hmm.
Homelessness is often brought on by factors that you ultimately lose control over.
Mm-hmm.
Things happen to people.
I think she answered her own question too with not doing the research, right? If people just look at what other people saying and not do the full research of what minimalism is about, you can assume that minimalism equates to homelessness or poverty or any of those. I think that was what we were focusing on in our last video.
Poverty,
the poverty piece.
Right.
So I think also too that the not only just like the history of slavery, but also the history of capitalism in America and its desire to make people want to consume more. That desire is built into the whole story of you got to pick yourself up by the bootstraps, and successful means get more. That's how you show that, right? So the capitalism means like get more, and minimalism directly counteracts that.
Mm-hmm.
So just kind of the fact that one's over here and the other one's over here, people look at that as like, oh, different means bad or worse.
Right.
Which actually different does not mean that. It just means different.
It just means not the same.
It's not the same. But that's okay, And
I think one of the main things that separates minimalism from poverty or homelessness is it's a choice.
Yeah.
People, like I was saying, people who are homeless or poor may be that way because of many different factors beyond their control. It could be because of their parents. It could be because their house caught on fire. I mean, like it's a lot of different things. A lot of different things that factor into why someone becomes homeless or impoverished. But minimalism is a choice.
Mm-hmm.
You are consciously choosing to live with less. Not because you aren't able to obtain more, but because you don't want to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I know with homelessness and, unhoused people, when they get to that state, a lot of times just life has happened to them, like you just said. Life has happened to them. And here's another piece to that, though, too. If we really think about average people in America, we're all very close to being there. When we think of how the lifestyle is of America, right? To consume more, work more, and then you don't have the money to take care of what you need to. We are so close, and we think we're like, the homeless people are so different. No,
you're only one mistake away from being homeless. One layoff, one house fire, one natural disaster.
And so the only difference is homeless folks haven't been able to keep the juggling up as much as everyone else. But, if you keep going down a certain path, you're going to have to drop it too, So.
And I think to even flip it, I feel like people I think there's a quote that says, if you only have money, you're poor, or something like that. I know I'm miswording this quote. But basically, it's something like, if money is the only thing you have, you're poor.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
The people who actually think they're, successful because they make 5, 6, 7 figures a year, they have this certain job, they have the big house, they have multiple cars, they have all the nice clothes. The people who think that they're rich or successful, those things are actually the impoverished ones.
Yeah.
Because what's impoverished is your mindset, and your spirit ultimately. if you think those things equate to success and happiness.
Mm-hmm. You know, I was trying to look up that quote. I was like, "Ooh, let me see if I can get that quote." Claim it.
Yeah. That's the answer to our question. And that's why we have, again, that's another reason why we have Black minimalists, so that there may be people out there who maybe are tired of living that lifestyle where they just consume and accumulate more stuff. They don't have the confidence or the knowledge or the information to take that leap and start simplifying their lives. So this is why we exist. Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
So there are people out there who look like you, who aren't buying into this American dream. There is an alternative way to live, to still be successful and happy and get everything you want out of life, without having to stress yourself out. Junk.
Yeah. Do you think the percentage of black people that are in that American dream myth, but then also don't have the money to accommodate that myth, that's more prevalent in the Black community, like that specific struggle, where we're even closer to, homelessness, if you want to, whatever you want to,
yes. I don't have exact figures, but we know this is a stat they like to throw out all the time, especially when it comes to business and Black-owned businesses. African-American buying power is over $1 trillion. So that's one figure. Another figure they like to throw out is that African-American women are the leading entrepreneurs, which we are. We have the most entrepreneurs of any other group.
Really?
So we are leading. Yeah. You can Google it. I don't know the exact stat, but we are leading in entrepreneurship and starting businesses. The third statistic is that even though we have $1 trillion buying power and we're leading in entrepreneurship, our wealth is still 13 times less of that of white people. What's the problem here?
Where's our money going?
We have the money. We have the power, the skills to start our own businesses. Is there still this huge gap in wealth between Black people and white people?
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of reasons for that.
Yeah. That's an interesting question. Yeah.
But, we can talk about structural racism and how that's impacted our ability to accumulate wealth. What are we doing with that $1 trillion buying power? Like, they can't take that away from us. That's our money. That's us putting our money wherever. Why aren't we directing it back into our own community? Like, we have to answer that question. You can't blame that on structural racism necessarily.
Yeah. That's a really good question.
So that's a thought to chew on.
And that's why you want to join Black Minimalists.
Right.
Yeah. I guess I want to ask one point to the that question. The homeless question too, it also is based on perspective, because one person can look at someone that is homeless and say, dang, they're down and out. And another person, especially if you have like a minimalist perspective on life, could look at them and say, has the freedom to move and do what they want if they choose to do so, right? Or if they're able to kind of get things in place and do what they want. You don't have the baggage of a mortgage, a car note, all these other things. You could move a little more freely, like nomadically,
Right.
So it's also based on perspective, too, with that question that she asks. So
let me see what we got left here.
Good question. Dang.
That was a very good question.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so I'm going to say these last 3 questions. Well, maybe not. Okay. One question, sort of. It is, if someone is rich or wealthy but living a modest lifestyle, would you consider them minimal? So we haven't really answered this.
Say it again.
Okay.
You cut out there.
If someone is rich or wealthy but living a modest lifestyle, would you consider them minimalist? Yes.
Yes.
Minimal.
Not having money.
Many times. Minimalism is not about not having stuff, first of all. We're not saying you can't have things.
Yeah.
We're just saying have the right amount of things for you. You don't need the excess.
Exactly.
Number 1. Number 2, it's not about having money or not having money. It's not about the amount of money you have. It's about how you use that money.
Exactly, to support the life that you want, that makes you super happy. You know, how are you using that money? Yeah.
So yes, rich people can be minimalists if they live simply.
And I think honestly, you will see more minimalists become rich because they practice minimalism. Okay, can I flip it on them?
Let me just add something else onto that conversation too, because this is something we have not talked about so much. Well, we kind of talked about it in our first video.
Yeah.
But class and minimalism.
Yeah.
It's easier to be a minimalist when you already have money.
You think it's easier?
Yeah.
Really? Can you expound on that? Because that's interesting.
Because not so much.
That's interesting.
Not so much as in having to get rid of stuff you've accumulated, but more so the money gives you the freedom to do what you want. So if you want to sell your home, sell your car, get rid of all your stuff and go travel the world, you can do it like that.
True.
Because you already have the money.
True.
If you want to start your own business, you can do it like that because you have money. You know what I'm saying? So money makes it easier to access the freedom that you're looking for by pursuing a minimalist lifestyle.
And I will say too, like, so if your goal is to become more financially independent, whatever the case may be, or do the things that you're talking about, being able to travel, and you don't have the money, minimalism is the quickest way to accelerate yourself there, because what you learn is, I don't need to spend the little money I do have on stuff that doesn't matter.
Right.
I can focus on my goal. Like if your goal is to get money, like one of mine is, what do you think my goal is? I'm living with my family right now at 33. to get in my own space, right?
Right.
So I don't need to be spending money on other things, and I don't have a desire to do that, So, and because I have that minimalist mindset, it's going to take me to, where I want to go financially. Also, debt freedom, being free of debt. Like, I don't need to spend my money on the latest fashions because I'm putting a lot of my money to take care of my student loans. Like, that's the focus you get with minimalism, and you get to where you need to go a lot faster. Yeah.
Yeah. So just to sort of reiterate, if you do have money already, it's easier to access the freedom. But just because you're not making a lot of money does not mean that you can't achieve that freedom also. You're just going to have to take a slightly different, or not different, but a more focused path.
Yeah. And minimalism will keep you focused on that, And
remember, it's not about necessarily how much money you have, but how you use that money.
Yes. Yes.
All right.
Preach.
And this is another question about money, since you're already there. How did you view money prior to becoming a minimalist, and how do you view money now?
Interesting enough, the way I view money is the same. I use money to get what I want, either both ways. But now what I want has changed because of it.
So it's not how you view money, but how you use it that's changed.
Yeah.
Well, but you're still using it for the same thing. It's what you buy with that money that's changed, I guess.
Exactly. Because previously, because I think money is only just to give you, your experience or whatever the case may be, that whatever you want to get, right? Minimalism allows me to get, let me actually just keep it what I said before, because I feel like that was more simple. This is like, what I want hasn't really changed. It's just, what I think about money hasn't changed, how it's used, but what I want to use my money on has. That's the only difference.
And I would say that, similar to what you're saying, it's not necessarily the money itself, but I've definitely learned how to manage my money better.
Yeah.
I've definitely been through cycles where I've had a little bit of money and more money.
Mm-hmm.
What I've learned is that in the cycles where I had more money, I wasted it.
Mm-hmm.
So what I needed to learn, was how to manage my money so that whether I have a little bit of money or a lot of money, I can do what I need to do with it to reach my goals.
Mm-hmm.
All right. But money is just a tool.
That's all it is. It's just a way to exchange value, I
mean, it's really a piece of paper. Piece of paper that someone assigned a value to. And we use it.
Before that, it was, yeah.
And we exchange it. We take it and exchange it for the things that we want. Like, don't wrap your whole identity and your life up in how much money you have.
Don't, yeah.
And you can always get more money. Like, even if you lose your money, and again, I noticed from personal experience of, being very poor at times and having more money at times, the money, it would always come back. You can always find a way to get more money. So don't worry about money. Just manage the money that you have.
Yeah. And don't worry about how that money is necessarily coming to you. Worry about the value you're going to be giving out into the world, and you will see opportunities for money. Simply put, I worked in an industry that I hated it, but I thought I had to be in it to make money. And I took some time to kind of reevaluate some things. Dedicated my about a year or so to working in the nonprofit sector. And now I'm in a job that's paying me just as much that I was getting paid in a job that I hated previously. And I love being there, and I made that transition. I had the experience to do the kind of work that I'm doing now, but I was able to transition those skill sets, and giving value where it was needed gave me the leverage to move into a different way and get income from that. So there's always ways to do it. You just, again, I think minimalism helps you to focus in on what matters most, and you come up with a game plan to go get what you need.
And I want to add something onto that, talking about abundance and the poverty mindset and that lack mindset and minimalism. Sometimes you have to let go of things in order to make space to welcome more money or whatever it is that you want more of into your life. Like, maybe you have to quit that job that you hate and do some volunteer work for a little while to get to the job that you actually want, or to start your own business that you want to do. Like, sometimes you have to take that leap of faith and let go of whatever you feel is holding you back in order to welcome more things into your life. Don't feel like you have to do the job that you hate because it pays the bills.
And that right there is the reclaimed space in the Black minimalism for me. Like, that's what resonates with that what we're going to be speaking to is, reclaiming your space. And that means, I just can't say it anymore. Reclaim your space. If something's making you, reclaim your space and find find something that makes you a lot happier, and don't be afraid to, like you said, to take that leap of faith, because if you walk it out, you will get there. You got to keep walking it out, so yeah. I feel like we do a motivational speaking.
All right, Dad. It's about to be on and popping up in here. All right, last question, and we're gonna wrap this thing up.
All right.
Do you come across more Black men or women embracing this lifestyle? Black women, hands down.
Oh yeah, especially on YouTube, because that's where I found. I mean, that's where we met up. YouTube. It's definitely, well, I mean, here's the thing though. It's definitely more Black women, but they do a lot more. It's more on the like spiritual side of things that I see on YouTube. That they speak a lot to it, like Nubii, the raw foodist. Girl,
the raw food goddess, the womb priestess, the holistic practitioner.
Yes.
Hey, Nubia.
I just want to see her business card. I was like, do you have that on your business card?
Right, do you have that whole thing on your business card?
But I mean, everything about her has so much under like layers of minimalism in it, and but she doesn't speak about that in that way. So that's what I tend to find is people that kind of are on that path, but definitely more women than men.
Yeah, I definitely see a lot of women who have families who are leading their families on this debt-free journey.
Oh yeah, debt-free too. Yeah. And tiny house living, that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, because and speaking of tiny houses and Black folks, wherever y'all at, please let us know. I know some of y'all out there living in a tiny house. Let us know so we can come say hi or something. But the Black women, I found 2 Black women who actually live in a tiny house. One lives in upstate New York, and one lives in Ohio or Minnesota, somewhere in the Midwest. But again, because they're the only 2 people that I found, naturally, I think we're leading the way in tiny homes also.
Yeah.
But yeah, I know people are out there. Just let us know where you're at.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else? Those are all the questions.
Man, again, I mean,
came with some good questions. Came with some good. Kiki Coco came with some good questions.
Yeah, we need to get her in the next Google
Right, we need
chat.
to get her on the chat.
Yes, because obviously she's exploring right now.
Yep.
So
we want to just thank you guys for joining us for the past couple of months as we, we're testing this out and seeing how it was going. We had so much fun.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was going to be so much fun, but we definitely had a ball.
Yes, and just getting to know people's stories. I think that's the biggest thing for me is just, if you get connected to people and you hear their story and learn so much. So, yeah.
And so many people have a wealth of information. Even when we did the conversation with India and Pastavia, all 4 of us, we all have so much different information.
Oh, yeah.
To bring into this conversation. So, Black Minimalists is about connecting with other people and sharing this information and then hopefully, applying it to your real life.
It would be cool if whatever way this shows up again for, we continue to try to find more people to join in the conversation as we're having it, because like you said, the different perspectives, it just brings so much liveliness to the conversation. And I'm always I remember there was distinctly moments where I was just like, I didn't even think of that. I mean, that just happened now, but it's going to happen more when you have more people in on the conversation. So yeah.
And we're definitely coming back. We're just taking a hiatus over the summer, so that we have time to work on launching our full site. So we have time to take a break. So we're definitely coming back. If there are YouTubers or people, vloggers, or they don't have to be vloggers, But if there are people that you know that you want to see on one of our live chats or even our Twitter chats, people that have an interesting perspective, they give good quality information, and they're Black, and they're minimalists or some type of minimalists, definitely let us know in the comments, email us, hit us up on Twitter, wherever. We want to know where these people are, and we want to highlight them.
Definitely. All right, girl.
So, one more time, blackminimalists.net. Go to the page, click join the community, get on the email list so you know what's going on with Black Minimalists, and so you'll be in the know when we launch our site in the fall.
Yes. And leave comments down below with the kind of topics, content, things that you would like us to share on the site and maybe for upcoming chats here. Leave it below.
All right.
All right, y'all. Bye.
See you later. Deuces.